Hey guys. Alright, so next one is freak occurrences. Here we go, guys. Things like economic collapse and pandemics don't typically happen overnight. There's usually a chain of events. Though perhaps imperceptible at the time, that takes us from point A to point B and on down the line. However, history has also witnessed events that occurred so suddenly and had such long-ranging effects, it is almost mind-boggling. In 1815, volcanic Mount Tambora, located on the Indonesian island of Sumbawa, excuse me, violently erupted. This remains the single largest volcanic eruption recorded in history. The eruption column rose about 28 miles, spewing over 60 cubic miles of dust and debris. The ash that jetted into the atmosphere created something akin to a nuclear winter. Temperatures across the globe fell for a year or more. Horror stories. Believe it or not, the Tambora eruption helped create two of the most popular horror icons in modern history. A group of friends were vacationing in Switzerland that summer, and the poor weather forced them to stay inside for much of their trip. A contest was set up between the friends to see who could write the scariest story. Mary Shelley won the contest with her story Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus. A second member of the party, Lord Byron, wrote a fragment which later inspired a third member of the group, John William Polidori, to write The Vampire. This work, in turn, greatly influenced Bram Stoker's Dracula. The so-called year without a summer was the result of those falling temps. The abnormal cold wiped out many crops. In June 1816, frosts were being reported in New York. Lake ice was seen in Pennsylvania in July and August. In some areas, only 10% of the crops planted were eventually harvested. This drove the price of grains up, tripling in some places. On June 30th, 1908, an explosion occurred in Siberia near the Pod Pod Cam Podkamen Kamenaya Tunguska River. That's Podkamenaya. This explosion was about 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It is believed to have been either a meteoroid or a comet that exploded about 5 miles from the ground. The explosion leveled pretty much everything within almost 800 square miles. Due to the remote location, it took several years for scientific investigators to mount an expedition to the site. What they found at ground zero was an area about 5 miles across containing upright trees that were scorched and missing all limbs. Moving outward from there, trees were completely flattened, all falling away from the site of the explosion. Because the explosion happened in the middle of nowhere, there were no human casualties. However, if something like the Tunguska event were to happen today, say a few miles above New York City, meteoroids enter Earth's atmosphere every day. Most of them burn up before hitting the ground, and those that survive the fall are usually rather small. But an explosion or strike in a populated area would have serious lasting consequences. Now keep in mind that this has been just a very brief walk through history. There are many other long-term events we didn't touch on, along with the examples of entire cultures and societies that fell apart, such as the Romans and the Mayans. What sort of calamities might the future bring? What events will shape the world to come? Let's take a look at some of the more likely suspects. Okay, and that was freak occurrences. And I'll go ahead and get this up there, and I will see you guys in a few minutes on the next one. Bye, guys. Bye.